but I'm back and I do apologize. But anyways, I have big news today. I don't know if you've been following Betsy DeVos' confirmation for Secretary of Education, but she has actually been confirmed today. So Betsy DeVos had her hearing 3 weeks ago, her Senate committee meeting and vote last week, and then the full Senate vote was today, and they have confirmed her. And what was interesting is that there was an actual 50-50 split completely. And that is actually the first time that that's ever happened. And in that case, Vice President is supposed to break the tie. And so Mike Pence, the current Vice President, actually did the first tiebreaker for the Senate. So that was pretty interesting. Ms. DeVos had her personal statement, just kind of what she wanted to present to all the senators. And she talked about how she supports parent choice. She knows that public schools are a reality for most kids. But she does believe in parent choice and wants to have really good charter schools. She's going to implement ESSA, Every Student Succeeds, and she wants to reauthorize the Higher Education Act. So that was her personal statement, talking about, she just had a couple minutes to talk about whatever she really wanted to talk about, really. So special education at this hearing. Somebody asked, do you believe that it's important to have early and universal screenings for all students? And should they fail those screenings, that appropriate services be provided to them? If you have worked in special education, you know that early screening and early intervention is key. What she said to that was, it's really up to the states, which truly education is, but she used that argument so much it seemed to be more of a cop-out answer rather than just actually giving her opinion. Another senator asked, and I'm going to read this off, $24 billion of federal dollars for 2,100 scholarships follow the student to state-approved schools, and parents can choose from this pool. So that was in regards to special education. They were asking about her thoughts on that, and she said, yes, exactly, this is the school choice that I support. And we're going to talk more about scholarships and vouchers in a second. I'm a little on the fence about that. And then one senator asked, should all schools that receive federal funding, should they be required to implement IDEA? Her response was, I think they already are. It's up to the states, and we can have a discussion about that. So that was alarming to me. That just showed that she had no idea what IDEA was. A, what it was. B, that it's a federal law. And C, she's our Secretary of Education, so I'm a little worried about that. More on IDEA, and Senator asked, IDEA is supposed to fund 40% of special education for a student, but yet schools never come close to this number. Do you think that we can do better? And she said yes, in the form of scholarships and vouchers. Towards the very end of the hearing, you really had to stick it out to the end to hear this. Senator Hassan, I'm going to quote her again, IDEA provides basic protections to ensure that students are afforded a basic education with their peers. She's afraid that public schools are going to become a warehouse for students that are disabled. And do you support vouchers that make students sign away their rights? And her response to this whole statement, kind of attack, was, I will be sensitive to them. And that's not good enough. That's not good enough. So in terms of vouchers, vouchers are, exactly what she's saying, you apply for it through your state and you kind of get the lottery. I'm going to use Mississippi as an example. They award $6,637 for this one voucher that I saw online. First of all, if you receive that voucher, you have to sign away your rights under IDEA, which is a free and appropriate public education. FAPE. You sign that away. So when you receive that funding or when you apply, that's gone. You can't go back to public schools as long as you have that money. And when you have that voucher, you can go to a private school, a charter school. But the downside to that, and this is from the National Education Association, is that there's no data. There's no budgets on how much they spend on special education. Private schools can deny your child for any reason whatsoever. And basically, fundamentally, they can hurt our kids. They're going to segregate disabled kids out of the public school system. They're not going to be in that least restrictive environment. They're not going to be included, which we know is so important for our kids. And when you're not in the public schools, you don't get those protections from IDEA, and you're not guaranteed anything. So that's a little bit about vouchers. Right now I know Florida, Arizona, Mississippi, and all have voucher programs. And then in Nevada, it's under suspense due to litigation. And I think Missouri is starting an education savings account, which I'm not sure how is different from a voucher, scholarship, and all that. But basically, the things that concern me about Betsy DeVos being Secretary of Education is that I'm concerned she's not going to fight for our kids in public education, most especially special education. She seemed to have no idea about IDEA. She had no idea what she was talking about. It seemed to me. She said we'll be sensitive to kids with disabilities, and it just concerns me. And so we're going to see what she's going to do as Secretary of Education. One point of hope for me, though, is that she said that she was going to try not to do federal mandates and just pound on the states, say, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. So I guess here in Texas, what we can do is we can really work with our state and our state legislature in order to fight for what we believe is right and what we need. So that's a good thing. So we're gonna have to see where this goes, and we'll see what she does as Secretary of Education. So that's it for today for SpedNet News. Quick summary: Betsy DeVos got confirmed, 50-50 split, and this was the first time that the Vice President had to actually break the tie in the Senate. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time on SpedNet News. Bye.